I only need one word to describe not only this game, but also this video. Provocative. It gets the people going. And after you watch this video, it's going to get you going to go play this game. So take a seat, strap in, get your popcorn, because it's about to get real. So I guess the main question is, should you play this game? Yes, go play it. Oh, you're still waiting for more? Okay, I guess I can give you a little bit more, but don't expect too much. Not only cars will be racing in this game, but so will your heart. I don't think any racing game in history captures the feeling of I am racing a car through a city, hauling balls, pedal to the metal, as well as this game. Like literally, like I can't think of anything. I mean, maybe Need for Speed Most Wanted, but it really does just like get your adrenaline pumping to the max. And that is what I would say is the foremost biggest reason you should play this game, and if that's like what you're on the hunt for. So I'm sure for many of you, me telling you to go play this game already convinced you to go do it. But I know for the slight few out there, I will give you a few more points. The main thing for me is probably the difficulty. And, that might be controversial as to why I think you should play a game, but it's no different than like Elden Ring. Not saying it's Elden Ring level difficulty, but it's a hard game. I'm not going to lie to you, but again, that's what makes it fun. Nothing's really holding your hand in this game. There's no mini map. There is a mini map, but there's not a mini map with the exact route you need to take or barriers protecting you from going the wrong way. There's none of that. This is a 20-year-old game. That's the thing a lot of modern day games are missing is difficulty or trusting your intelligence. My first three main points is for the difficulty. When you nick or drag your car against a building or something, you lose a lot of momentum. You're not like just slide. It's not like shit's lubed up in like modern games where like you just keep going or whatever. You do lose a lot of momentum, so that can fuck you. My second point, it's also kind of going back to the whole there is no waypoint leading you in the direct path you need to go. You can easily miss paths in this, and you are racing through a city, so you got to think that it's a 90-degree turn right here. Like I gotta cut right here. It's easy to miss stuff. And this game was made by Rockstar, so I'm sure many of you played GTA 5, but NPCs do swerve into you. They do it on purpose. And I don't care if the developers tell me otherwise, they code that in there on purpose. So you could be winning a race, literally 2 seconds left, and out of nowhere, this NPC just rams right into you, and your race is ruined. It's annoying, but it's also funny and makes the game better. So yeah. Like I said earlier, this game is 20 years old. So the age of the game also plays into the difficulty because cars spawn in pretty close to you. So if you're going down a highway, going 200 plus miles an hour, you got to take into consideration that you can only see like, 3-4 cars ahead of you, maybe if that. So you got to kind of assume sometimes that cars are just going to spawn in, and that can also fuck you too, like you could be at the end of the race, you got the best car in the race, but you get fucking whacked by some dickhole, you got to restart. So that's my final main point of the difficulty. So be careful of pedestrians spawning out of the sky and smacking you. Maybe it's just God trying to humble you a little bit. I don't know. So you know what? Yeah, this game is hard. But that's what makes it all the more worthwhile when you do finally beat a race you've been struggling with for 30 minutes or God knows how long. Then when you beat it, you jump up in the air. But also when you're getting cooked, like me, I was very tempted to throw my controller at the wall. And I'm a 25-year-old. But hey, it's okay. It happens to the best of us. So yeah, it's definitely a challenge, but that's what makes it fun too. So I kind of just wanted to put that on the back end of the difficulty, and so I'm not completely scaring you away or making it not seem appealing. So, but yeah, if you're looking for a nice, easy, just coasting through experience, go play Forza like the rest of them. This ain't the game nor the video for you. Moving on to the types of races in this, I'm not going to talk about every specific one, but I will talk about the main two. Checkpoint races, you only have an arrow pointing you in the direction of the checkpoint you need to go to. And it's just a giant smoke tower, and you can see it, behind some buildings and stuff if you're not by taller buildings. But that kind of, I know I said I'm done with difficulty, but it does make the game, ties into the difficulty factor of this game, because you really just have to use your best judgment. Oh, this path's the best. Obviously, some paths are more obvious than others, but there is a lot of shortcuts too that like the NPCs might not see, and it'll throw you off. Or you think you see a shortcut and you fuck yourself, and you got to restart the race because you went from first to last just like that. And that's the name of the game in this, man. You take one wrong little path, or just whatever, you get whacked by NPCs. A lot of restarts, and there's no shame in it because I probably restarted over 100 times with my playthrough, so don't feel bad. The final race type I want to talk about is tournaments. It's best out of 3. So it's not like, oh, you win this first race, and you keep going. It is a point system, so if you do get second or third, you still, I can't remember the exact points, but it's like first gets 10 and second place gets 8 points. And by the end of it, whoever has the most points wins. So if you do get in first or like second or third the first race, or in the second race you place second, and then the third you get first, or whatever, like you never know. Don't restart until the very end unless you got last place in the first 2 races, then restart. Because if you restart in tournaments, you go all the way back to the very beginning of the series. Like you don't start, oh, I'm on race 3, it's just going to restart race 3. No, it restarts the whole tournament. So you got to be really careful. And these are one of the most intense series too, because like there's just no restarting. So sometimes even if you crash really bad, or whatever the case is, you kind of just have to stick through it and see it through. And forgive me if my wording or phrasing is confusing, because we just went over styles of races. Now I'm going to be touching on the types of races. There's city races, which are just straightforward races out in the open. They're indicated by red markers. They're optional. You don't have to do them, but you do need to win a certain amount of races in each city to kind of progress and get more stuff. And then there's club races, which when you're doing those, you have to use the specific type of car that they want you to progress through their, like, and it's kind of like there's 14 usually of like the club races, and again, like it'll be like muscle cars or tuners, for this specific club, and that will unlock the further you progress through like that kind of, I guess, storyline you could say of the club races. You'll unlock more parts for that specific car. And then again, this is going to be confusing, but the tournaments, those are races. So again, they're the best of 3, but those they usually give you a lot more money, but you also win a car at the end of it. So those are really nice, and that's kind of like the main storyline, if you could say, per se, of the game. So I just touched it on a little bit, but the tournaments are the main way to progress through the career mode, and there really isn't much story to the game, which it's fine. It's a racing game. Does it really need that great of a story? No. So there's not much narrative going on or anything. It's kind of just like it's just a pure racing game. There's a little bit of like cutscenes here and there, but the tournaments make you progress through the story of it. And that also leads me into the whole, there is 3 cities you go to. You got Detroit, Atlanta, and San Diego. You start in San Diego. Again, you're just a random no-name person that just moved into San Diego, and one of your buddies is a mechanic, or one of your friends knows one of the main mechanics, and that's kind of how you get going. And that's probably one of my more favorite things about the game too, is how it has 3 different maps to play on and choose from. And like you do have to go to each map to keep progressing through the story. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to sit in San Diego the whole time. So the game does push you to go to the other maps as well. So that for being that old of a game, and they all have like their own vibe to them too. And like obviously the starting map, San Diego, is a little easier. It's a lot more open. But Detroit, once you get there, that's like probably the hardest map in my opinion. There's a lot more tight turns and corners you got to make. So beyond career mode, you also have arcade mode, which gives you a few different options to play. You got capture the flag, which is pretty self-explanatory. You got paint mode. There's a certain amount of checkpoints like on the map, and you're going to be red. Your goal is to get to a certain percentage of the map painted your color, which is pretty cool. There's also frenzy mode, which you literally like have the brakes are turned off. You can't use any of the special abilities in the game, which I'll touch on in a second. But but every 15 seconds nitrous goes off and you're supposed to be dodging vehicles, and it's basically like a timer system. So you gotta reach the checkpoints to keep adding time to the clock. And if you don't reach checkpoints in time, the game mode's over. But so that's arcade mode. It has a few different types of stuff in it, so it's pretty cool. Just to name a few of the power-ups in arcade mode, I don't want to bore you by listing them all or explaining them all, but you got like quad damage. Obviously, like your car does more damage if you hit someone. Stop, makes everyone stop suddenly. You also got ice. It makes it as if like the enemy driver is like driving on ice, so they're just drifting around or whatnot. So yeah, that is arcade mode, so you should definitely check that out as well. Capture the Flag was a favorite of mine. Last but not least, we got Tokyo Challenge mode. The nice thing about this is you can start this at any point. You don't have to be at a specific progression level in the regular career mode. Also, you can use whatever cars you have bought in the career mode in Tokyo Challenge mode, and it adds a whole new map. You go to Tokyo, so it's pretty cool. The only issue I could see is you do need specific cars for some races in Tokyo Challenge, and if you're struggling against some and can't get money, you might have to go back to like the main career mode to be able to buy whatever specific car you need. So what video would this be if I didn't talk about the customization of the cars in this game? And what game would it be if it didn't have pretty good customization? At least in my opinion. I've always felt satisfied with it. To start off with, I'll talk about the performance shop. So, but this part's pretty basic. Like, you got the engine upgrade, turbo, NOS, intake headers, computer, suspension, a few more things. I'm not going to bore you with all the individual upgrades you can do. But yeah, it's pretty much just like, for engine, you start off at level 0, then work your way up to level 2. Some upgrades have level 3. And then to get those, to unlock that next tier, you actually have to win a specific amount of races. So if you are starting to struggle on some races, like, you're like, dude, like, there's just no way. These cars are way faster than mine. You should go, and you're probably doing like the tournament races that progress you through like the quote unquote story. I would go back to the red optional races just out and about, because those are usually pretty easier, and that'll get you that win total you need to unlock that next level tier. Last thing I want to talk about with the performance shop is it does have an auto upgrade option. So, obviously if you got all the money or enough money to do it, it does auto upgrade cars for you. It's nice just because, like I said, it is just pretty basic. It's just going from level 0 to level 2. So it saves you time, so you don't have to go through every individual upgrade. And, there's nothing really that fun about it. And the final thing, I guess, is this is cool, but I don't think it does anything. I don't think you can see it like a visual difference. You can, for some upgrades, you can choose the brand of the part, which again, it's like a cool, nice little touch. But again, I don't think it changes performance at all, and I've never like seen it visually change anything. I could be wrong, but just the last final little cherry on top for performance. Moving on to the vinyl shop or the paint shop. I'm sure it's somebody's favorite, but yeah, I mean, not much to say about it. Obviously, you got the paint, the color you can change of your car. There's also like different types of paint. You got glossy, matte, pearlescent, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, the vinyls, you got tribal, stripes, bunch of different stuff, and you can change like your license plate in this as well. There's also like some decals you can put on the windshield of your cars, so pretty cool. And last up, probably mostly everyone's favorite, the body shop. Pretty straightforward here too, but a lot of, probably the most options. You can change the bumpers, the side skirts, the spoilers, taillights, headlights, hood intakes for like muscle cars, like the big air intakes, wheelie bars for muscle cars. You even got hydraulics, so very cool, very in-depth. And one of the other cool things too is with your tires, you can change the width and stuff, and that actually affects like how your car will perform. So that's another cool little tidbit. But yeah, that's pretty much it for customization and whatnot. But yeah, again, for a 20-year-old game, I think it does really good job, and I think you'll be satisfied. But So I really struggle with deciding whether the racing's my favorite part of the game or just the tone and vibe and the music. So those three together versus the racing. Um, I will say though, the main menu song of this game, there's just when it pierces your ears and reaches your brain, it just shoots straight to the soul and tickles it in such a way. I can't really describe it besides that. I've never been good at explaining why I like certain songs. Maybe, some other people feel the same way. Like, I don't know, man. I can't give you a scientific reason. It's just I hear the song, I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. It's great. And yeah, they're just I think it's one of the best main menu or like songs for a game in history, to be honest. And it's kind of like the tone of the whole game though too, like the early thousands, late 90s hip hop. And you start, and it's like the West Coast too, and you start in San Diego. The first mechanic you meet and talk to, like he's like your introduction to the game. He just has like a really special charm to him too. So yeah, if there's anything you get out of this video, I don't even care if you go play the game or not. I mean, I do, but if I had to pick or choose, go listen to the song "Real Big" by Manny Fresh. Whether it's just the beat, you should listen to both. Just the beat, then with the lyrics, they're both really great. So this might be one of the most, or if not the most important questions that I answer. Nostalgia. Where do I play this game? Well, sadly, it is not on any modern stores, like digital or anything that I know of. This game did come out on PS2, OG Xbox. There was a PSP version, which I never played. I'm sure it's dumbed down, PSP, DS were all dumbed down versions, but I personally bought the disc PS2 version, played it, I emulated it on my computer. I know some people sail the seven seas, I'm not here to judge, but personally I think it's cooler to have the disc in hand and play it that way, get a disc drive for your computer. But yeah, or if you have old PS2, old OG Xbox, that's what growing up, I played it on OG Xbox. But yeah, PS2 or OG Xbox, I think I got this game on eBay for like 30 or 40 bucks, but it's worth it, man. And the way that video games are going now, physical's kind of the way to go. And like you actually own it. It's all on the disc, and it's dying out. So it's kind of cool to get your hands on history. And it's also, for me, I've been going down a physical collecting journey, just having all my games and seeing them. Because I know a lot of people, the older you get and the less time you have, it's harder to get motivated to play games. But actually seeing them on like a shelf or something, and like it's a physical thing you have, so it definitely motivates me to play more. So sadly, it looks like we reached the end of our Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition Remix journey. Wow, that's a mouthful. But don't be too sad. I promise there's more content coming on the way. I don't really plan to do any of like the really big mainstream games, because it's like, I feel like everything's that can be said about them is usually said. So I'm kind of more aiming towards like what I believe to be lesser known games, and obviously older. Not to say I won't talk about current stuff or modern stuff. That's a little sneak peek into what I plan to be like a weekly podcast or weekly videos talking about like the state of gaming or what's going on during the week. And so you can look forward to that. I'm not going to ask you to do what most YouTubers would do, but if you do want to see more of my content, I will ask you subscribe. And I genuinely appreciate if you made it all the way through this video. It does mean a lot. Really, my main goal is just to get more people to play the games that I love growing up, or just, I'm sure some people watching this played this game too and just haven't thought about it, or it'll give them the motivation to go play it again. So either way, it'll make me satisfied, and I hope you do go check this game out. So have a good day, stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.